Hello everyone, this is Moby the Yarny, and it's Thursday. Welcome to my channel, and if you're new here, thank you for stopping by, and if you're a regular, thank you for coming back. And I know it's been a while, I think 11 days since I had a video. Yep, but it was Mother's Day weekend, and I had a lot of stuff to do, but I have a lot to show you. Maybe not a lot of finished objects, probably not any finished objects, but I did get a lot of yarn. So my channel is about crochet and a lot about yarn, sometimes about knitting, but I'll get right into showing you a few things. So I started a few new projects. One was just because someone wanted me to make something for them, but so I had gone to the store a few days ago, and it was yeah, it was really cold then. Today we're in the high 70s, so it's not cold today. So I had wore this hoodie. Yeah, so this has started out as a regular sweater. I made it as a regular sweater, and then I turned it into a sweater with a hood, and then I seamed it up in the front and turned it into a hoodie. So it became a hoodie because I had wore it as a sweater camping, and then my grandson asked me to make him one, but in gray. So I made him in. So this is a hexagon sweater, and it's made out of 2 Caron cakes. I started with the Caron cakes, and then I added these. I have these sparkle yarns that I got from Mary Maxim and some mystery boxes. So I added that onto it. And then I had this extra off-white that I added also, just to make it bigger. And I always start with 15 rows, or 17 rows for my size. And then I added 8 rows to the back, and that's what I did with it to make it a little bigger. And then I do about 4 rows in the front to make it a nice trim around it, and then I put the hood on. And then I usually add 10 rows to the sleeves to make it a nice sleeve, and I put a nice cuff on it. I will use front post, back post doubles around the sleeves, or sometimes I'll use three front post, 1 back post around the sleeve, depending on if I'm making it for a guy or a girl. So the gentleman approached me in the store and said he'd been wanting one of those, and I think he said something about his friend's grandma crochets, but she only does blankets. So, and he wanted one in his fraternity colors. So, and the fraternity colors were this purple and then this gold color right here. So I did find the colors, and I was able to make it. Well, I'm not finished making it. I got 2 halves made. So here's the first hexagon and the colors. So you can see here's the hexagon, and then you fold it to make the sweater. So there's 1 half, and then I have the second half. So I'm getting ready to start adding the extra things. First I will seam up the sleeves, and then I will add the extra things to it. So that's how that's going. So this took up a good portion of my time, because I'm pretty sure I worked on it about 2 hours every day. So that does take up time, but and this is the first time I'm using the Crafter's Secret yarn from Hobby Lobby. But it is 100% acrylic, and these are let's see. Let me see if I can find it. 110 yards, 810, not 110, 810 yards per ball. And so far, I have a tiny bit of the first purple left. And this is the color, it's just purple. And then the yellow is sun gold. Those were the closest I could find to the colors that he wanted. So I've not had to buy a second yellow yet, because I started with the yellow, so it was in the smaller portions. So we'll see how far I get here, but so far so good. So we'll see. I'll show you the finished project when I'm done. I'll probably do most of the hood portion in the purple and outlined in the yellow. So that's part of the but before I started that, I had started, I don't know if you remember, but the last video I showed you, I had gone to Joann's and bought a bunch of yarn, and I had bought this yarn pack in the primary colors, and I was wondering what in the world I would do with it, but the notion struck me that I wanted to make, of course, a sweater with it, because for some reason I love making sweaters, even though it's not sweater season at all. But and I decided to make a different kind of sweater. I've been making so many of the hexagon sweaters, so I went in this route. Now this is the back. This is the back portion, which I might have oversized it a bit, but I'm going to bring in, when I do the edgings, it's going to be brought in because I'm going to downsize the hook size on it. So this is how I did it. Each row is a different color. And then this is the back. And I did start the first of the front portions. And I tried the different, the elongated, the rectangle granny square. It'll have two front portions. And it's going to be a shorter sweater because I'm making it for my granddaughter who is 18. She'll soon be 19, but she likes different styles than, you know, how teenagers are. They like different styles, so that'll be how I'm making that. But I did use this black is left from a jumbo Caron cake, which I have done so many projects with this one, but I think it's coming to an end, this one, and I'll have to get out another one. But yeah, this is the pastel colors, and I do have two of these because I did go back and get another one before they sold out of them, because I think it's really cute, and there's a cute hat that I probably will make to go with it. But so those are mainly the two projects that I have been working on. There's a third I started, but I will show you that after the fact. So for Mother's Day, yeah, Saturday I came home to find a huge box on my porch, which was a surprise from my husband. He had ordered me 2 mystery boxes from Mary Maxim, which I was getting low on yarn. Most of the yarn I had was designated toward projects, so I was cleaning out my bins, which that was the goal for me to do this year, was clean out most of the yarn I was working with, and I was getting down to only working with scrap yarn because I wanted to do that too. So I think he did really well with what he got. I guess he of course he didn't choose what he got, but what we did get was really great. I really liked it. So I'll just get right into it. I already took it out of its packages, but I got 2 basic. One was 3 weight, and one was a chunky 5 weight. But I really liked both of them, except there was just only one yarn that I really didn't care for, and that's because I really don't know what to do with it. But I'll get into those right now. So the first bag, which I've already taken some out of, was this big bag here, and it's got the chunky, and it's got I'm pretty sure it was a kit of some kind that they sent me because it had all these Amigo yarns from Hobby. They're 100% acrylic and they're chunky, and they are, of course, a 5-weight. And it says they are designed in Denmark and made in Turkey. And they are, let's see, this one is 100 grams. And it's saying to use, let's see. Yeah, it's a 5 chunky, but it is, to me, it's kind of thin for a 5. It's really soft though, really soft. But I don't see a color on it. It's just got a lot number. And it's let's see. It's saying to use a 7mm hook with it. But it just says color 2. That's why I'm thinking it might have come with some kind of kit to make something. And this one is color 26. And it's also the Amigo Chunky. And same thing, 100-gram balls. And it's the same thing, and designed in Denmark, made in Turkey. And it's from Hobby, the same thing. So I've got 3 of the yellow, the light yellow color. And then this one, it probably, yeah, it's looking blue greenish on my screen, but it's more of a grayish green, I would say. And I got 6 of those. But I do like the color, and it is a thin 5. So I would probably use it in a project. So yeah, out of the chunky, these chunkies, I got 9 of those, which I do like those. It could be a nice chunky baby project. And they did send lots of, these came with, this one came with 1, 2, 4 different patterns, which is a springtime throw, which looks a lot like the Easter blanket I just made. And then this one is a blanket Get Fresh throw from Bernat. And this one is a knit jacket sweater. And then these are baskets that came with that one. Probably use the chunky yarn to make these baskets. That would be cute. So I always hang on to the patterns that come, because you never know when you're bored and you look for something to make. And then another thing with the chunky that I really like were these. I got 4 of these Caron Colorama Halos. I'm going to open these because they're still in the plastic. But so these are, let's see, the colorway Magenta and Mandarin. So you can see the Mandarin in the middle, Magenta on the edge. I do have a few of these, but I only have 1 of each left that I had. I have one that's in a tannish color and one in a blue, so I didn't know what to do with them because I had only 1 of each left. But there's 4 of these, and that's enough to make a nice blanket, I think. And these are also a number 5. And they are, it says, they are 227 grams, which 481 yards, 8 ounces. And it says to use a 6mm with them. But I do like these. They're nice and squishy and soft. It would make a nice blanket for a throw. I'm pretty sure 4 would make a nice throw or a baby size blanket. But, and they give you some ideas on the, I think on here they have a little cow pattern that's on it. But these are cute. I really like them. I'll move these to the side. Now this is the one I didn't care for. And this is the Bernat Velvet. And it's probably the color I don't like. I really don't like working with them. Now I've used them for amigurumi ears, the inside of the ears. But I don't think I would put this inside ears. Maybe make a pillow with these, but these are number 5s also. They're 100% polyester. I think that's why I don't like them, but the Bernat Velvet. And they are 10.5 ounce, 315 yards. And it says to use a 6.5 millimeter with them. I know some people make amigurumis with these, but I think I'd always downsize the hook if I was going to use these, because these, if you use bigger stitches with these, they tend to worm. The stitches come out, and then these tend to fray. If you just pull on it, the ends of it, it'll fray if you don't get your ends in really well. Yeah, so these are the only 2 that I really don't like, is these Bernat Velvet. I'm just not a fan of these velvet yarns. I'm thinking that was the end of my chunk. No, I had 2 more chunkies right here. Okay. And it was these right here. Stitch Bird Melophiage. Hi. I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly, but this is it right here. And these are a number 5. And you're supposed to use a 6.5 millimeter with it. This is the color Sparrow, and it is a 131 yards, 3.5 ounce, and I have 2 of them that I got. So they're saying it's good to make a cowl or a scarf, which that might be what I would make. But if you see it, it's got like a thread wrapped around it. So it's almost like a stained glass. Like a stained glass would be, with a thread going around the yarn. It reminds me of how you would make a rug, but I don't think I would use this kind of yarn for a rug, but it is cute. I'm sure I would end up making something with it. But I have 2 of those. This is from Lion Brand. So this is the first time I've seen this kind of yarn. So we'll see what I do with that. Some kind of project, I'm sure. And I'm pretty sure that's all of the chunky. Yeah. So now this is something I've had before. This is one mine. It's a Bon Bon Classic. Now, the only thing about these is all of the logistics are in a different language. And I'm pretty sure it's a number 4. This is the one I had. So I'm going by this is a classic. It says machine washable on it. And this is one I had already, so, but I got a bunch of these. So I got them in this color, which it does not have a color name. It just has a color number. They're 100% acrylic. I'm not even sure. Now this one is thinner. I'm pretty sure it's a 3, because it is not as thick as the 4 that I had. And it is a Bon Bon Ints. So I'm not sure what that is, but I got 3 in this color. And there's no color name. It just has 71039 for this color. And then I got another 3, and they're the same weight, the thinner. And this is a 710778. And again, same thing, 100% acrylic. And this is the purple. And they don't look too bad together. And then I also got, it's in this like baby blue color. And it does not have a name. Color number 98231. And I would also guess this to be a number 3 just by looking at it. So I have 9 of those, 3 of each of these. So I like all of these, even though I can't really tell the logistics, but it does have all the washing instructions and the symbols, so I can go by those. Don't iron them, don't bleach them. It's saying wash it in cold, lay flat to dry, all those good things that we do anyway with our yarn if we want it to last. Okay, then I got one of these doodads, which I've had these so many times. I keep giving them to my grandkids to do. It's just a paint by stitch, 1-stitch needlework kit, which I don't think any of them done them yet, even though I keep giving them to them. When we opened our camper, I found one in there that I gave to one of the grandsons. They didn't do it. And I had one last thing left, and that was this Bernat, a 6-pack of Bernat Handcrafter cotton, and in the colorway Fleur de Lavender, and it is, yeah, number 4. So this is a cute color. It almost matches the bag up on my wall over here, which that was Premier. It was a Premier cotton, not Yarn Inspirations. This is Bernat, Yarn Inspirations Bernat Handcrafter cotton. And I got 6 of those, so I could probably make something out of them, or make a bunch of washcloths, but it's got blues and pinks and purple and yellow, so maybe it feels a little rougher than you would use for a wearable, so maybe this would be comparable to a kitchen cotton, probably. Yeah, but they're 1.5 ounce and 71 yards each. It says to use a 5mm hook with it, but that's what I got. That was the last thing I got from it. Oh, besides the ones that I actually started a project with 2 of the ones that it also came. Just lost my hook. It came with these. Now they were from Loops and Threads. These 2 here. They are called Snuggly Wuggly Dip Dye, which I have not seen these. I don't think I've seen them at. I don't think I've seen them at Michael's before, but it came in this blue, which is, let me see if it actually has a color. Sometimes it's hard to find their color names. Wavelength is the color of this one, and Daffodil is the color of this one. but I like them because they change color. I don't know if you can actually see, but when you go deeper in there, the blues change color. They go from light to dark. And the same thing with the yellow. It goes from light to dark. My foot went to sleep. But it does change color. So I decided to use it in a project. I actually have 2 more baby blankets I need to make. And then this white I'm using is a pound of love in white. Not a pound of love, a bundle of love in white. So this is just of course, the corner to corner. So I wanted to see how it would work up. But I actually liked how it was doing because the colors do change. So it makes it a little more interesting. But I'm pretty sure with the 3 that I'm using, I could finish this project. If not, I do have some yellow and blue that I could finish it with. But those are the ones I got. And I was really happy with my box this time. Usually I get things that I'm not sure what I'm going to do with, but I'm pretty sure I can use all this yarn except for, I don't know what I'm going to do with that velvet yarn. Maybe a pillow? Maybe I can find a cute white to mix with it and make a pillow. That's the only thing I can think of, maybe. Or there's some kind of yellow amigurumi I could make to go with it. We'll see. But, so that's what I've got for you today. And that's what I'll be working on. So I do have a few amigurumis I'm working on to try to finish before next weekend. But I haven't finished them yet, but still working on them. But that's what I have for you today. But hopefully something inspired you. But that is the new yarn that I got, and I'll be trying to find projects for. But I thank you for joining me today, and I hope something was inspiring for you and you got some kind of inspiration, and find something positive for today, and go out and inspire someone else and find something to be thankful for. I'm thankful that I'm still around and able to do things, and I'm thankful for my family and for my husband and my children, and I had a good Mother's Day, and just find something to be positive for, and go out and inspire someone else and be thankful for them. And I thank you for joining me today, and I will see you on my next video. Thank you for joining me.